Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, Pikachu knees. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, Dragon Ball Z. Only Elay free. Please let me know, cool peeps, if you can hear me. Can you hear me okay, my cool peeps? Where is my switch at so I can turn? Wow. Y'all, I'm looking for my switch so I can turn my light on. What the HIJKLMNOP is going on? Where's my switch? I'm going to turn on my flashlight. So what do you think about what do you think about that Hercules trailer? Well, he's giving advice to his neighbor. Let's see here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, Pikachu knees. Okay, it's good. Great. Hey, what's going on? High five. Bam. I was making sure I got... fudge. I was making sure I got the audio and stuff okay. Welcome into Cartoon Tuesdays. Cartoon. Can't believe it's already Tuesday. What's going on, Lee? Bam. I hope you had a good day. You know, and thank you for coming in yesterday for a tidbit. That was awesome too. I had fun yesterday. So the trailer I had up this morning before the today's live stream went on was Hercules the shark giving relationship advice. And one of the cool peeps was already laughing at that. Hercules is nuts in a good way, you know. He be having me bugging out. I'm gonna have to give Hercules a phone call. Oh, I'll wear these. I have to give Hercules a phone call after this live stream. Welcome in. The time is 5:05 for me, 5:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Cartoon Tuesdays. Today we will be talking about the history of Cartoon Network. I have my snacks here, yeah, and my water is here, and most importantly, I have my Cartoon Tuesdays oversized onesie thingy, and it's super duper comfortable. What do you think about the pictures I have back there? Aren't they cool? I found this picture, of course, online. There. It's got Secret Squirrel, Scooby-Doo, Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends. I think there's Batman, Ben 10. It's a variety of cartoons. I don't think a couple of the cartoons that are back there are Cartoon Network cartoons, but I don't really mind because I like cartoons in general. I'm glad you guys can hear me okay. I think this is one of the fastest sound checks I had since this year. So thank you so much, and for pressing the like button. It helps keep this party going. I'm getting ready to pull up the history of Cartoon Network. Now my hair looks different compared to when I first started. You cannot see my puffball. I have a puffball up there. I need to turn on this light. I have a teeny tiny, well, this isn't teeny tiny. Have you seen the modern day ring lights? This ring light that I have, it was small, for us compared to our time. But the modern day ring lights, they're so tiny. They're about as small as this nowadays. Toonami, yeah. Now I get that mixed up sometimes for some reason. How did this cord get behind the computer like that? That's why I couldn't find the switch. Now, This is crazy. The cord for this light is supposed to be on the other side, not behind the computer. How did the cord get behind the computer? That's why I couldn't find the switch. Now this is ridiculous. Yes, I remember Toonami. Toonami still comes on, like, because that's where you can watch. Well, I gotta be careful so I don't accidentally disconnect this live stream. Toonami comes on still, because that's where you can find Rooster Fighter at. Rooster Fighter comes on Toonami for us over here, Eastern Standard Time at midnight. So it comes on Sunday night, my cool peeps. Yo. So if you don't know, Toonami comes on late. Midnight. Sunday. The one with little robot Tom. Now, I don't remember the robot's name who hosts, but I can look once I plug in my second ring light. I can see if the robot that hosts with this fairy robot lady, if that's him or not. I found the cord. Brace for impact. I'm going to turn on the light. There we go. Woo. So, you said Toonami, and I'm looking for Robot Tom from Toonami. I'm getting ready to check this out right now. Robot Tom from Toonami. You guys remember Robot Tom? My cool peeps, do you remember Robot Tom from Toonami? Uh-oh. I'm looking it up now. Robot Tom from Toonami. First, what I'm going to do is, who is the name of the current robot host on Cartoon Network? Toonami. I like the name Toonami. I think that's a great title for the show. I'm thankful I got over the Monday hump. You know, Monday is behind us, and now we are here on Tuesday, rocking and rolling in the weekend. So I asked, who is the name of the current robot host on Cartoon Network? Toonami. The name of the current robot host of Toonami, often misremembered as Toonami, is Tom, which stands for Toonami Operations Model. Yeah, so that's him. He's still there. But you know, I didn't really give focus to what his name is. So thank you for that. Yeah, he's still there. And he's like with this, what is this stuff opening on my computer? Get off of my computer. So I'm going to put this in here for my cool peeps to know. The next question I'm going to ask in reference to this, my cool peeps, is to see who the fairy robot is on there. She reminds me of robotic Tinkerbell, but she's on there with him too. Another tab ended up opening without my permission. Well, I'm not going to go that far. A tab just involuntarily opened up that I don't want to deal with. Voltron. Yeah, dude. Do you remember Voltron? Yes, but I don't think Voltron was on Cartoon Network. Was Voltron a part of the CW channel when that came on? The first episode, it's been lost in media? Really? Wow. So that means in this modern day and age, it seemed like it'd be really hard for cartoon episodes that were lost in time. It seemed like it would be easy to resurface them. So I'm wondering if they're intentionally holding it for the special time. I'm going to ask, who is the fairy lady who hosts with him? So the fairy lady who hosts with Tom, that's the YouTuber. The fairy lady who hosts with Tom is Sarah, an artificial intelligence matrix. Wow! Who serves as the co-pilot and secondary host of the Tsunami block. Okay, that's her name. So much to learn, my cool peeps. This computer and I are gonna get ready to fight. It's too much stuff going on. Get out of the way. Where? What the age? I'm telling. Wow. Open up a new tab. Please excuse me about cool peeps. I'm experiencing technical difficulties. It's like the computer is trying to overly help. So that's what's happening right now. It's a lot of things, a lot of assistance coming up. AI assistance is popping up and it's overly trying to help. And it's actually interfering with the live stream of me looking for my answers. It's overtaking the show. Wow. Isn't this something? This is unacceptable. We've got, oh, look at that robot. Okay, who is the name of the fairy lady who is with him? Question mark and go. I didn't do a survey today because I did that for past few times. Today I'm just rolling with it. But if you are interested in naming, what kinds of cartoons you like, go right ahead. That's fine by me. There. The fairy lady who accompanies Tom is Sarah, his artificial intelligence matrix companion. So here we are. I found my place. Elay's found her place in life. No, not place in life. I found my place in my digital notes. Oh, you're cool. You're cool. Donations help by simply watching and hanging out with us and participating. Watch time and thumbs up helps get me to my goal of 4,000 watch hours. So you are helping. So thank you so much. Every day I look at my numbers to see how high they've gone. That means it's closer and closer to my goal. I'm crying tears of joy, people. Tears of joy. Well, that was fun. So yeah, thank you for bringing up Tom. That's his name. What I'm bringing up now is the history of Cartoon Network. Croissant, like in Teen Titans Go, he was like, croissant, meow, meow, meow. We've got croissants. So straight up in here, I just simply typed in the history of Cartoon Network. It usually starts with a general surface level, or should I say summary of it. Once I read the generalized definition of the history of Cartoon Network, then I'll do the deep dive and see what else it has to say. Launched on October 1st, my cool peeps, October 1st, 1992, Cartoon Network revolutionized children's television as the first 24/7 channel dedicated solely to animation. Founded by media mogul Ted Turner. Ted Turner. Excuse the parrot. It's flying around our studios. We have yet to catch it. Founded by media mogul Ted Turner, after he acquired massive classic animation libraries, wow, the network evolved from rerunning vintage cartoons to becoming a powerhouse of original, culturally iconic programming. Now that was a mouthful, wasn't it? And we're just getting started with the history of Cartoon Network. We've gone over this before, my cool peeps, but I have not specifically dedicated a video slot for it. So here we are today, um, going over the history of Cartoon Network. Think there. The early years, according to AI, Ted Turner's vision for a continuous cartoon channel materialized after his Ted Turner Broadcasting System purchased the Hanna-Barbera studio and its vast library in 1991. Let's go 1991. Wow, 1991. It kind of seems not so far away for some reason. You were rocking flat tops in 1992. Well, they're back again, I can say. What makes me say that flat tops are back again is because I saw it on a TV show recently. But you know what though, now that I think about it, that flat top that I did see, it was based on the time period of 1992. It wasn't done currently. My bad. I would have to do a separate Google search and type in and ask, or flat tops coming back. But you know, history repeats itself. Blah blah blah, yaggity smackety. And here we are talking about Cartoon Network, and I'm believing that history will repeat itself in the glory of Cartoon Network news, meaning that they will return back to their old glory of cranking out the hits, having awesome programming including great commercials in between segments and stuff like that. So that's what I'm believing for Cartoon Network, for the history of Cartoon Network to repeat itself by getting back good again. I believe in Cartoon Network. I know that this will work out. I'm seeing it when I watch it. Have you seen anything in Cartoon Network recently this year that reminded you of Cartoon Network from when it started before and when it was super duper really good? Have you seen any personal signs of life of Cartoon Network coming back online? If so, I would like to read what you've experienced. Because every time I'm on here, I'm always expressing the signs of life in reference to Cartoon Network. You know, showing up and beginning to show out and fight back. While I wait for your responses, I will continue reading the answers about Cartoon Network's history. Here we are. Alright, computer, I'm getting ready to read the breakdown of Cartoon Network's history. So if you can please put the timestamps in for me, I will greatly appreciate it. The early years of Cartoon Network history, 1992 from 1994, Ted Turner's vision for a continuous cartoon channel materialized after his Turner Broadcasting System purchased the Hanna-Barbera studio and its vast library in 1991. Let's go 1991. When it launched on October 1st, 1992, Cartoon Network's schedule was made up of classic properties from Hanna-Barbera, MGM, such as Tom and Jerry, and the pre-1948 Looney Tunes. This is fun and exciting. Welcome in all my cool peeps. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, pests, plants, animals, artificial intelligence, and all living, breathing things here under the sun on planet Earth. Welcome into Cartoon Tuesday. I'm your host, LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. All are welcome. Feel free to chime in about your favorite cartoons and your best moments of watching Cartoon Network and cartoons in general. Alright, AI, we're going to the segment now called the Cartoon Era, 1994-2000s. Can you please timestamp that for me? I'd greatly appreciate it. We've got in 1994, Cartoon Network established its own dedicated production division. Production division. Cartoon Network Studios. The Cartoon Network launched a groundbreaking anthology series called What a Cartoon, which allowed independent animators to pitch short films. The most successful pilots were greenlit into full series, ushering in the golden age of cartoons. Shows like Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, The Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and Ed, Edd, and Eddy became massive hits. Cartoon Network, the timeline of our cartoon lives. For the record, my cool peeps, I've been on the show right now for 20 minutes and I'm already almost at 1 hour of watch time. So I want to stop to explain and express how thankful I am for all of you coming in, even for 3 minutes at a time, to just say hello, because my watch time for this particular video is already accruing almost 1 hour. It's at 0.9 right now. So thank you so much, because that watch time adds to my higher goal. Thank you, Johnny Bravo. Have you seen any Johnny Bravo birthday cakes? In my mind, I bet you they look so cool. So this is the side note. I'm going to deviate really quickly and I'm going to type in Johnny Bravo birthday cakes. I have to see this. Oh wow, my cool peeps. If you're interested in looking at Johnny Bravo birthday cakes, when I did that, I simply typed in Google search Johnny Bravo birthday cakes, and like 6 cool cakes popped up in my feed, and they all look really neat. So if you ever want a cake, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like your birthday, you can simply request a Johnny Bravo cake. There are cool designs where you probably can make it yourself or have someone make it for you. It's really cool. Okay, so that was my side note. I'm going back right now to expansions and Adult Swim. Once again, AI, thank you for your help. I'm moving on to the next section for a timestamp called Expansion and Adult Swim in the 2000s. Here we go with the 2000s. As the network's audience grew, it looked for ways, my cool peeps, to utilize its late night time slots when children were asleep. In September 2001, it launched Adult Swim, a programming block featuring edgy, mature, and surreal animated series like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Space Coast, Coast to Coast, and the Venture Brothers. Now, I don't remember the Venture Brothers. My cool peeps, do you remember the Venture Brothers? That's something. That's something else. Maybe I saw it, but it didn't catch my attention. I don't recall the So I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm curious now. What was it about? Well, it definitely said the Venture Bros definitely had the time slot of Adult Swim, and it came out in 2001. So once again, it's got the Venture Bros. In 2004, the network rebranded with the slogan, "This is Cartoon Network," end quote. Moved away from its older classic shows to a spin-off network called Boomerang. And I remember Boomerang because it was like, Boomerang, it's all coming back to you. And I thought that was the most illest thing ever. You know, we've got This is Cartoon Network moved from many of its older classic shows to a spin-off network called Boomerang, and paved the way for a new generation of originals like The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. Speaking of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, right now currently the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, at least for where I'm at, Eastern Standard Time from the state of Georgia, or in the state of Georgia, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is currently coming on at the 5 p.m. time for Checkered Past. It's the Checkered Past where The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy Foster Homes for Imaginary Friends are coming on. I have so many notes that I want to take. You know, there's so many things, okay, at least 5 things maybe, that caught my attention that I need to write down in today's notes. I do have my clipboard with me. Right now, I'm just bookmarking everything. And what I'll do is just keep moving forward after I write a couple of things down. Look at all my notes I have, and it's just Tuesday. I'm already on page 2 of my notes. The history of Cartoon Network. So one of the things that caught my attention, my cool peeps, as I looked through my online notes, there was something that really caught my attention, but I wanted to keep reading. Oh, that's my question. So right here, under the Cartoons era, 1994 to 2000s, in this segment it reads, the network launched a groundbreaking anthology series called What a Cartoon, which allowed independent animators to pitch short films. The question that I'm wondering is if YouTube got their idea to make YouTube shorts from Cartoon Network, because surely Cartoon Network was definitely first for creating shorts, meaning Cartoon Network versus YouTube. The next question or component that I'm going to throw into the conversation is Pixar shorts. So out of the shorts in this shorts battle, who started the shorts segment first? Cartoon Network, Pixar or YouTube. Bum, bum, bum. So, what a cartoon, which allow independent animators to pitch short films. What a cartoon. What a cartoon. What a cartoon. Which was pitched which was I'm losing my place. Which allow independent animators. I think I spelled that wrong. So it's like I'm learning stuff. I remember that. I forgot the name though, but the shorts were cool. They had music videos. They had music videos too. See, this is a whole nother segment right here within this segment. But yes, I do remember that. And I thought that was really cool because it provided to me like a spark within Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network was already sparking up already quite naturally with this coolness and collective creativity. But when they started putting those shorts into there, you want to talk about it felt like I got a birthday cake and it wasn't my birthday when they put those Cartoon Network shorts in there. It was really cool. Those shorts really sparked up it really sparked Cartoon Network into high gear, as if they could get any higher. What? Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm writing my notes down. What came first? Whoa, I'm on page 3 now. Page 3. Yay. And it's only Tuesday. And I'm on my 3rd page of notes. Here's a blank sheet of paper. I'm getting ready to fill it up talking about Cartoon Network news. So what I'm writing down to myself so I could come back and do some more research in the future regarding Cartoon Network. I'm writing about the Cartoon Network shorts and all of that. Thank you. How's it going? Thank you so much. My earrings are cool. Thank you so much. I really like them too. I really like them. Thank you. Cartoon Network, YouTube, or there was another one. Cartoon Network. Oh, Pixar shorts. Oh, wow. Thank you for the sparkles. Yay. Thank you for the sparkles. Xander Gonzalez. Thank you. Those were pretty. Cool. My cool peeps. You want to know what else is cool? I think Cartoon Network really lit a fire under other platforms to be creative. Meaning, even though Cartoon Network is specifically for animation, they were so innovative and game changing and made people's head turns, like HBO, heck, even ESPN, those types of networks. I think they had no choice but to look at Cartoon Network. Even though Cartoon Network was a totally separate division compared to those types of networks, I don't think they had any other choice but to acknowledge them and watch them grow and expand in their own quirky, cool, independent type of way. Back then, though, when networks were really stuffy and uptight and was really a stickler on whether or not you wore white before or after Labor Day, they could only admire Cartoon Network from afar. But they would not have the luxury to be loose, fun, funky, and free like Cartoon Network because of the way things operated back then in the early 90s. You know, when Cartoon Network first came out, they dare not even utter the thought of being free, you know. But nowadays, when you look at like ESPN especially, they have definitely loosened up how they present themselves. Some of the co-hosts on ESPN don't even pronounce their words clearly or correctly, and some of them stutter, but they still have high-paying positions on there. So I'm saying this to say Cartoon Network was first, far as not giving the dang, far as being how they presented. How they presented was like how MTV presented when they first came out. This is who we are. If you don't like it, like I said, you can go eat a poo sandwich. How about that? So high five Cartoon Network, bam, MTV, and also myself for seeing the vision, making it plain as possible, and doing your thing during the highs and the lows. So I really like MTV. I'm a fan of Cartoon Networks, and now there's me. Yes, I had to tie myself in there. Moving forward, we have, according to AI Overview, in reference to the history of Cartoon Network, my cool peeps. We just finished reading the Cartoons era from 1994 to the early 2000s. We already read that. We finished reading the expansion of Adult Swim. I'm going to read it again for my sake. I deviated quite a bit, so I'm going to bring the wagon back home. Expansion and Adult Swim in the 2000s. As the network's audience grew, it looked for ways to utilize its late night time slots when children were asleep in September 2001. It launched Adult Swim, a programming block featuring edgy, mature, and surreal animated series like Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, ATHF, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, and the Venture Brothers. In 2004, the network rebranded with the slogan, "This is Cartoon Network." Moved many of its older classic shows to a spin-off network called Boomerang, and paved the way for a new generation of originals like The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. Now, this is another thing I was curious about. One of my cool peeps mentioned that he is familiar with a cartoon that came out in the 2000s called The Venture Brothers. I'm curious about The Venture Brothers. The Venture Brothers. So I want to put a face to the name, or should I put face? I want to put faces to the names. The Adventure brothers. Adult Swim. I saw a Hijack Gumball and Darwin episode named Grieving with an. Oh wow, Grieving with Adult Swim. You got scared? Wow, that still comes on? OMG. OMG. Cartoon Network. It's more creepier and cringy than the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It has to be because it's on Adult Swim. I believe that this cartoon segment was mentioned before sometime last year. Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm writing it down. Thank you so much for that. Wow, Cartoon Network, you really did your big one, hey? I guess you'll never know unless you try. They tried and it failed. Gravy train dog food. It's so scary. They removed it from Cartoon Network. Wow. I'm writing it down. Thank you. High five. Bam. AI computer software. How come every time I look away from the computer, I get more people? But soon as I look up, the room clears. I'm not ugly. So can you stop doing that, please? Computer software. That's weird. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I just read your comment. That's awful. I didn't know it was that. That's bad. Yeah, life is bad enough. We don't need anyone thinking about those thoughts. So thank you so much. I read that comment, that one in particular, because of what is in there. It contains gore and other bad things. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not something that should be on there. They're gonna have to, if they want it to come back, they're gonna have to really water it down, you know. So I have the Adventure Brothers on Cartoon Network. Well, the Venture Bros. The Venture Bros is a celebrated lore-heavy animated action comedy created by Jackson Public and Doc Hammer. It originally aired on Cartoon Network's late night Adult Swim block from 2004, wow, to 2018. It was around that long. So I'm going to look at some imagery of it. How did I miss this? Wow. So I'm going to read the time when that came out. Oh wow, yeah, that's not cool. That definitely don't need to be on there. That's not it. They definitely took that too far. So the Venture Bros is an adult animated sci-fi comedy that aired during Cartoon Network's late night block Adult Swim. It parodies the 1960s boy adventure cartoons like Johnny Quest. It follows the incompetent, well-meaning twin brothers Hank and Dean Venture. Wow. It ran from 7 seasons between 2004 and 2018. That's why I probably missed it, because my life really started to get even more hectic. I had graduated from high school. I was going to college. I ran into some bad people. So yeah. So that was that part in my life. So I definitely missed that. I wasn't really a fan of that show. That's something I may want to piggyback up on and check out later on in life. But yeah, that's why I probably missed that particular time slot in Cartoon Network. So yeah, that's the Venture Bros. We've got the second golden age in 2010s. The second golden age in 2010s, my cool peeps. Wow. So there was a wave. I like how AI, thank you for categorizing these the history of Cartoon Networks in bite-sized choices. I love watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast on Cartoon Network. It's really cool. Every once in a while, I see segments of Space Ghost sometimes in like during the intermittent sections of Cartoon Network. I want to say like on the weekends, like maybe on Saturdays, I will see small segments once in a while seasoned with Space Ghost. Running his mouth. The second golden age for 2010s. The 2010s marked a radical creative shift with critically acclaimed narrative driven shows that appeal to both kids and young adults. Adventure Time and Regular Show premiered in 2010, my cool peeps, completely redefining the network's modern identity and inspiring a new wave of hits including Stevie Universe, The Amazing World of Gumball, and We Bear Bears. Do you remember Stevie Universe commercial? Stevie Universe on DVD. Stevie Universe on DVD. Stevie Universe Season 1. Now available on DVD. I was like, cool. I like that commercial. I respect Space Ghost, but I stopped watching. Too much talking about things I didn't know of or cared about. Yeah, Space Ghost rambled on a lot. I thought that was his character. I thought that's why. You remember on Toy Story 1 when Buzz Lightyear jumped off the banister of Sid's house, clearly high, we'll go sailing no more. When he jumped off the upstairs and he fell and his arm popped out. Okay, fast forward to the scene after that when Buzz Lightyear, my cool peeps, arm popped out of the socket and he was having a tea party and he said his name was Mrs. Nesbit and he was rambling on and carrying on. That's what I thought Space Ghost character was on there, just rambling on like he lost his mind, had one too many adult beverages, or just had one too many run-ins with fighting evil forces that he kind of went ziggity boom. So that's what I thought Space Ghost was on Office Rocker because he fought too many fights. So they had to sit him down at a desk job to host because he's done enough. You know? Yup. I used to watch the regular show with my daughter. They had the clock song. I definitely wasn't watching Cartoon Network anymore. I was out of high school and busy. Me too. And I wish I didn't miss those portions in time. But now that I have some more time, now that I am a complete adult now, I can go back now and see what I did miss in those time segments. So high five to you. Bam. Exactly. I don't even feel guilty about missing that portion in time at Cartoon Network because life is life and life goes on. So yeah. So having said that, my cool peeps, I am a fan of Cartoon Network, and I do admit that when I was growing up, I did miss a portion of Cartoon Network. I'm having, excuse me, a really good time on here, hanging out with my cool peeps. once again, I just want to stop and take the time to thank you so much for coming in and showing so much support. I am feeling so overwhelmed, quite frankly, with how many cool peeps are in here, just popping in to say hello, chiming in, pressing the thumbs up. It's really collecting up, and it's really reflecting in my everything. So, modern era and streaming shifts according to AI 2020 to the present. Yes, absolutely. Life is going to life, and definitely moving forward. Yes, it was mind blowing with Tonami hit us with the really cool voiceovers. It was so professional and crisp. It was like they borrowed somebody, yeah, from Hollywood to do the voiceovers. In my mind, when Hollywood was more like a mystery behind it. When I listen to Toonami and the voiceovers, it seems like to me that they hired somebody from Hollywood to do it, but they kept it under wraps because it was like the Hollywood people didn't want people to know that they were doing side gigs, you know. But now that modern days have changed, it's no thing for the people of Hollywood to do a side gig, especially now that things have changed. If you're graced to be able to have been presented with a side gig in Hollywood, you're lucky now because times are hard for them. I only watched it for Adult Swim when I was in middle school. That's okay because it brought you memories. It's bringing you memories now from that time. That's okay, right? Modern era and streaming shifts, 2020 to present. I'm curious about this one. Gather around, my cool peeps. The forest fire, the dumpster fire, the bonfire, and my favorite, the ring of fire before or after the rising sun. To here. In the 2020s, Warner Brothers Discovery underwent massive corporate reconstruction. Yes, reconstructing. Wow. I haven't heard the term reconstructing in so long. Reconstructing. Restructuring. In the 2020s, Warner Brothers Discovery underwent massive corporate reconstructuring and leadership changes that deeply impacted the network. Budgets were cut, many original projects were canceled or removed from streaming platforms entirely, y'all. And production operations were merged into Warner Brothers Animation. What? Platforms entirely and production operations were merged into Warner Brothers Animation. While Cartoon Network remains a historic cornerstone of pop culture, its footprints on traditional cable has shrunk, and its digital presence, including Cartoon Network websites, has been transitioned to streaming platforms like Max. Oh man. Is there a such thing as the downfall of Cartoon Network? I don't want to say necessarily that Cartoon Network had a downfall where the dynasty completely crumbled, but I can say that it had some times where it slumped, you know, definitely. So, yeah, we did witness and experience a rescinding of Cartoon Network, but not a complete totalitarian downfall, thankfully. The downfall of Cartoon Network. Y'all want some cereal? It's good. Once again, what I'm eating is not Cartoon Network cereal. Oh, wouldn't that be cool if Cartoon Network had a cereal? What I'm eating is Chex Mix cereal. It's the cinnamon mixed with the original. It's good. 4, 5. The downfall of Cartoon Network. Really fosters home of imaginary friends. You know what? Speaking of foster homes of imaginary friends, my cool peeps, maybe for 3 weeks, let's say that. Maybe for 3 weeks, excuse me, I have been seeing glimpses of foster home of imaginary friends like in between segments, and it's really neat. I like seeing them. It's really nice to see segments of them during the transitions between commercial breaks and when they transition to get ready to start the cartoon show back up again. I have been seeing that. It makes me wonder, and do you wonder, when they do this, is that like us? Is that Cartoon Network softly warming us up for what's to come in the Cartoon Network flex rotation? And the figment of my imagination and keeping a happy place in my heart regarding keeping hope for Cartoon Network to get back up and get back to the way they used to be, I like to think that that's what it is. When they show glimpses of cartoons from the past in small commercial breaks, I like to imagine that they are getting us prepped for them to roll out that cartoon again during the flex time on Cartoon Network, Monday through Fridays. What do you think? Cartoon Network people. Also, with the power of my imagination, I am imagining that you have been watching all of my Cartoon Network Cartoon Tuesday segment videos and listening to them. So thank you so much. Shameless plug. My family and I are here in Georgia. I would love if we could come in and just have a tour of the place. I know a lot of things kind of went left as far as businesses being more open to letting people come in because of what happened in 2020. You know, the global situation where a lot of people fell ill. Cartoon Network, to my knowledge, was one of those people who closed their doors. But I would love for my family and I to come in to just have a tour. It don't have to be a deep, intensive tour, but Cartoon Network, now that I'm an adult, is my Disneyland. It's my Disney World. And I will very much so rather go to Cartoon Network opposed to going to Disneyland or Disney World. Shameless plug, it's just a wacko's wish, but nonetheless, I am a fan of Cartoon Network. They have a very special place in my heart. And high five Cartoon Network people. Bam! To my surprise, when I typed in the history of Cartoon Network, it provided way more information than I expected. So I'm wondering, when I ask for a deeper dive of this specific topic, how much more information is the computer AI overview going to generate for me to read to you? because I think it did an exceptional job with what I just typed in. Me too. I really hope they come back for at least a little. So do I. A side note, my cool peeps, I'm going to ask, is the Cartoon Network Studios in Georgia open for the public? So I'm asking right now, is the Cartoon Network Studios in Georgia open for the public? Well, good morning. High five. Bam. Welcome into Cartoon Tuesdays. Currently, I'm asking AI, is the Cartoon Network Studios open in Georgia for the public? Is the Cartoon Network I'm having a good time this morning talking about cartoons, and I'm super duper cozy. One of my cool peeps mentioned that they like my onesie for this, my hoodie. I like it too. It was one of my birthday gifts I got this year. What I like about it is it reminds me of BMO. Who wants to play video games? BMO! You guys like BMO from Cartoon Network? Such the cutest little video game person. It's got arms and legs and everything. How can you not like BMO? BMO is cute. I do have a Cartoon Network confession. For the past maybe week, I have only lightly been tuning into Cartoon Network. Isn't that a surprise? Da, da, da. I have been watching a couple of other things right now. You know, it's the summertime, so there's movies and stuff that's been coming on earlier than usual while Cartoon Network is on. So the thing is, I usually will forget to turn back sometimes to Cartoon Network, unfortunately, because I'm more wrapped up in watching the movie that's presented on TV way earlier because it's summertime. Sorry, Cartoon Network, but you still have a special place in my heart. So the original standalone Cartoon Network Studios building in Atlanta, Georgia, and the adjacent Cartoon Network store are permanently closed to the public. Yeah, I thought so. Because the facility operated strictly as a private workspace, it never offered traditional public tours. Following corporate consideration, excuse me. Following corporate consolidation into Warner Brothers Discovery, the physical Atlanta building is shut down. You can still virtually explore the historical site via the Cartoon Network 3D Stairwell Tour, which preserves the iconic artist drawings and sketches. If you are looking for things to do or explore in Atlanta, let me know. I want to know more information about that. That's not enough information. BMO, yes, the living Game Boy. Yes. Have you seen BMO's hoodie? BMO's got a really nice particular hoodie that's out. If you Google BMO hoodie for adults, boy, they really look nice, man. It's got the whole body on the front of the hoodie and everything. This one BMO hoodie that I saw, it's got the name on the side and the plus and minus video game buttons on the sleeves. Yes, BMO is cool. So I did a deep dive overview because I'm curious. I want to know more information about, is Cartoon Network Studios in Georgia open for the public? It says here, my cool peeps, no Cartoon Network facilities in Georgia are not open to the public. The main production unit, Cartoon Network Studios, was historically based in Burbank, California, rather than Georgia. And that physical building closed in 2023, while Cartoon Network's corporate headquarters and its adult-oriented sibling animation studio, William Street Productions, creators of Adult Swim, are located on the corporate campus in Midtown Atlanta, Georgia. These facilities operate strictly as private corporate offices. They do not offer public tours, exhibits, or general admission. If you are a fan looking to experience the brand, keep the following details in mind. The Atlanta office is private, according to AI. The Tech and William Street campus. The Warner Brothers Discovery Atlanta offices at 1050 Techwood Drive Northwest host the business's operations of Cartoon Network. The neighboring William Street facility at 1065 William Street Northwest handles Adult Swim production. Both are heavily secured spaces requiring employee badges for entry. The lockdown is real, y'all. No studio tours. Unlike the main Warner Brothers studio tour, Hollywood and California, the Atlanta campus does not have a public tour program. Former public attractions now closed, according to AI. CNN Center Tour. Many fans remember taking the CNN studio tour in downtown Atlanta, which featured a large Cartoon Network retail store and the window displays. The Discover Atlanta CNN Center Tour permanently closed after CNN relocated its main operations to Techwood campus. According to AI Overview, the Cartoon Network store, the physical retail store downtown, has also closed. Virtual alternatives. Digital stairwell tour. While you cannot visit a physical studio, you can explore a piece of the network's history online. Cartoon Network digitally preserves the famous Sketchville artist stairwell from its former Burbank studio, allowing fans to take an interactive 3D virtual tour from their phone or computer. If you want to plan an animation or film-centric trip to Atlanta, I can recommend alternative options. No thank you, AI Overview. I finally have come to the point where I decided to bravely look to see if Cartoon Network was open to the public, and nothing is anymore. Things have closed and shut down permanently, and in addition to that, they have moved, like, relocated to other places, so they don't do that anymore. Burr, burr, burr. That's too bad, you know? A little part of my heart is sad knowing about that, you know? But I had to figure out some creative ways to celebrate Cartoon Network. I am celebrating Cartoon Network right now on Cartoon Tuesdays. When life changes, we have to keep moving forward. But I don't want to keep moving forward and away from the fact that, you know, now that I officially know completely that Cartoon Network here in Georgia, you know, that stuff is closed down to us. Cartoon Network, dear Cartoon Network people, we gotta figure out a happy medium. We have to have a happy medium. I'm going to write down an idea really quickly. We've gone over quite a bit in a little bit of time here on Cartoon Network, my cool peeps. I'll read the notes that I've taken so far and the things that we've gone over here. We went over, of course, what is Cartoon Network. We wanted to know, well, I wanted to know in reference to Cartoon Network, which came first, far as Cartoon Network shorts. Cartoon Network has shorts, like in the early 2000s, according to AI, and then there's YouTube shorts, and then there is Pixar, Disney Pixar, who also has shorts. I was wondering, like, who was first to do that. That would definitely be a separate video. You know, PBS Kids is underrated. It's a lot better now compared to how it was when it was out for my time. I slowly started to see PBS Kids get better after I graduated from high school. So at that point, it didn't really matter anymore because I was grown up. So yes, over time, they have gotten better. PBS Kids have evolved. What is one of the cartoons on PBS Kids that you like? Are you serious? PBS Kids is canceled. OMG. I thought I still saw them on. It's just nobody really talks about it anymore. I'm looking now. My face is so shiny. So I asked, is PBS Kids canceled? It says no, PBS Kids is not gone. While the network and its producing partners have faced significant budget adjustments following the closure of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the channel remains on the air and continues to provide children's educational programming. You can watch your favorite shows like the Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood and Wildkrats. Oh, Wildkrats, I remember them. They still come on. You can watch your favorite shows like Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood and Wildkrats daily on your local PBS television stations or 24/7 dedicated PBS channel. Additionally, the content is easily accessible to stream for free without a subscription or log in via the PBS Kids video app. So, if you are interested, they are still available according to AI, but what has changed is the networks and its producing partners have faced significant budget adjustments following the closure of the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. I did touch on that sometime last year, I think, about the changes of PBS and all that. But that was way last year, so maybe that's something that can resurface again. So that's PBS Kids. They are still going. So if you are looking for it, all is not lost. You still have access to it. Now, the next thing I want to do is have a deeper dive in AI mode far as the history of Cartoon Network. What was previously provided to me to read to you was an abundance of information, and I didn't even do the deep dive overview in the history of I was about to say the history of Toy Story. Not the history of Toy Story, the history of Cartoon Network. So now I'm entering the deep dive overview. Cartoon Network, my cool peeps, launched on October 1st, 1992, as the world's first 24-hour cable television channel dedicated solely to animated programming. Did you all know that? Cartoon Network launched on October 1st. Founded by Betty Cohen and Ted Turner Broadcasting System, TBS, the network revolutionized the television industry by proving that animation could sustain a full-day broadcast cycle for both children and adult demographics. Over more than 3 decades, the brand evolved from a repositionary for vintage theatrical shorts into a global powerhouse for acclaimed original character-driven animation. The Foundation and Classic Era, 1992 to 1994. Oh, this is cool. So I learned a little bit more in there. Library acquisitions, Hanna-Barbera purchase, launch blueprint, first original. So it says here, the Foundation and Classic Era, 1992 to 1994. Library acquisitions. Media mogul Ted Turner purchased the pre-1986 Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Film Library and Associated Artists Productions catalog, securing classic properties like Tom and Jerry, Popeye, and pre-1948 Looney Tunes shorts. Now, you know what? When I watched Looney Tunes, I never thought of those as short cartoons. Maybe I'll have to take a look to see some of the Looney Tunes cartoons to actually time it to see how long they are. To see if they classify as shorts at all. You know? Hanna-Barbera purchase. In 1991, TBS acquired Hanna-Barbera's productions for, wow, $320 million, gaining ownership of monumental franchises like the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and the Jetsons. Do you guys remember the Jetsons? Yes, Jetsons was part of Hanna-Barbera, and it then found its way on Cartoon Network. That used to mix me up when I was little because I was like, how can two different cartoon people be on at the same time? Meaning, when I saw the Jetsons on, like, I think TNT or Cartoon Network, the Cartoon Express, when I would see those cartoons like that over there with the Flintstones, and then I started to see it wander over to Cartoon Network, I was confused because I was like, how can two cartoons come on two different network stations? So I was confused at that. Hanna-Barbera purchase. In 1991, my cool peeps, TBS acquired Hanna-Barbera Productions once again for $320 million, gaining ownership of monumental franchises like the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and the Jetsons. Launch Blueprint. Armed with 8,500 hour catalog, the channel launched 2 million subscribers, utilizing styled programming blocks like Toon Heads High Noon Toons. Do you guys remember Toon Heads and High Noon Toons? First originals, the experimental Moxie show debuted in 1993, followed by Space Ghost Coast to Coast in 1994, which pioneered a surreal late night talk show format utilizing re edited archive footage. Wow, so they were already recycling content? Is that what it's saying? I need to read that part again. The experimental The Moxie Show debuted in 1993, followed by Space Ghost Coast to Ghost in 1994, which pioneered a surreal late night talk show format utilizing re edited archive footage. Okay, I think I get that. When Space Ghost Coast to Coast did come out, it was quite obvious that it was an older show from like my parents' time. But what I liked about it was that they brought Space Ghost from my parents' time and introduced him to us. And it's like they kind of, yeah, just ran him through the photo editor and upgraded him to the quality of pixelation for our time. So it still looked off, it still looked old, but at the same time, it still seemed kind of new. So I was experiencing three different timelines and experiences at the same time when Space Ghost Coast to Coast was reintroduced for us. It was like it was annoying, but I liked it at the same time. And as they continued to experiment with Space Ghost, they got better. I think Space Ghost um helped spark the idea for the concept of, is this cartoon out? Archer. I think that Space Ghost helped Archer to be born. I need to write that down. Wow, I'm steadily writing. Look at all these notes. The time right now is 6:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome into Cartoon Tuesday on Cartoon Network. I'm your host, LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Welcome into Elay TV. Today is Cartoon Tuesdays, where we talk about all things cartoons. If you're interested, drop down in the comments what your favorite cartoon is. No, I am not artificial intelligence. Yes, you are talking to a real, live, living, breathing person. I want to thank all my cool peeps for coming in who started with me at the top of the hour. Some of you had to get ready to go to work. And some of you are from actually Australia, so you're getting ready to go to sleep. So thank you for coming in, especially my cool peeps from the other side of the world. Have a good night, and thank you for watching me in the replay. Today we talked about the history of Cartoon Network. I am currently reading more about the Cartoon Network's history. I am doing the deep dive overview right now. The Golden Age and Cartoon Network cartoons, 1995 to 2004. What a Cartoon launched in 1995. This crucial talent incubator gave creators massive creative freedom and produced a 48 short-form animated pilots. Original Renaissance. The pilots rebirthed the era-defining cartoons line, including Dexter's Laboratory of 1996, Johnny Bravo's 1997, the Powerpuff Girls in 1998, and encouraged the Cowardly Dog in 1999. Entering in 1997, my cool peeps, we've got Toonami Block. Introduced in 1997, this afternoon action programming segment popularized Japanese anime for a generation of Western audiences through hits like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. Now, I vaguely remember seeing Sailor Moon on Cartoon Network, but I definitely remember Dragon Ball Z. The Time Warner merger. A 1996 corporate merger with Time Warner legally reunified the network with the full Looney Tunes posts from 1948 catalog and DC Comics strips properties. We've got Adult Swim, my cool peeps, facing the low late night advertiser engagement for children's spaces. The network launched a mature, boundary pushing late night programming block in September 01 called Adult Swim. I like Adult Swim. I need Adult Swim to tighten back up like it once was. Evolution and corporate shifts. 2005, my cool peeps, to present, where we are right now. The CN rebrand in 2024, the CN rebrand in 2004, Jim Staples oversaw an identity shift to the CN checkerboard era, moving archival classics to sister networks like Boomerang to prioritize company properties like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Ben 10. Speaking of Ben 10, Ben 10's been coming on for a couple of months now at least on Saturdays, and it's really nice to see Ben 10 on Saturday. Is it Saturdays or Sundays? No, I think it's Sundays. But we're going to talk about that more in the future programming. I already have Ben 10 scheduled into the rotation for upcoming topics for Tuesday. So if you're interested in talking about Ben 10, it's scheduled to be talked about sometime this month. Live action missteps. Following Sample's 2007 resignation over Boston marketing scare, new leadership under Stuart Snyder pushed a conversation, Seeing Real block introducing live action reality programming that polarized core audiences. In the 2010s Renaissance, the network corrected its course through groundbreaking, award-winning animated hit series including Adventure Time, Regular Show, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Steven Universe. Warner Brothers Discovery era. This timeline just keeps going on. Following massive media considerations, or should I say, following massive media consolidations, parent company shifts resulted in structural consolidations with Warner Brothers Animation and the integration of classic content libraries into their streaming ecosystem on Max. If you want to focus on a particular era of the network, my cool peeps, AI is saying, tell me which one interests you. The 90s origins, the classic Hanna-Barbera catalog acquisitions, cartoon era, which comprised of Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, Ed, and Eddie. In the 2000s, Renaissance, Adventure Time, Regular Show, Steven Universe. Welcome back, high five, bam. And the history of specialized blocks like Toonami on Adult Swim. So there are 4 different categories, 4 different eras in reference to or regarding to Cartoon Network's timeline of transitions throughout the years. It's crazy to know that we are here at this time, and I am reading back a long timeline of Cartoon Network. I've been on the planet to witness the birth of Cartoon Network and to see where it is today. It's crazy, man. I don't even want to say or ask, where did the time go? Because it doesn't feel like one of those situations of, oh my gosh, where did the time go? No, we don't feel like that. It's just really amazing, like, it's really cool just to know that I was a part of something, right? Or should I say, I am a part of something and I'm seeing it happen and play out. And Cartoon Network, there's so much room for Cartoon Network to grow. There's so many years still left in the nature of Cartoon Network that it's like there's no way that Cartoon Network can be over. That's just like saying Disney World is closing. How? It still has so much to offer. It's been around forever. All right. Thank you so much for waiting, everyone. I am back. I just remembered the dark times, and then Cartoon Network came back to me, and it was so much better with it. Cartoon Network helped a lot of people. You know, music saved some people's lives. Cartoon Network saved others. It could be a compilation of music and Cartoon Network because, you know, with Adult Swim, Adult Swim played music in between. So I think that you and I, meaning you and I, my cool peeps, and the creators of the Adult Swim also probably agree that Cartoon Network's cartoons save their lives and music as well. Because Cartoon Network have like Adult Swim bumps where they play really good music. And I have a playlist on my homepage where it's free Fusion Fridays music. I have a specific playlist dedicated to some of my favorite Adult Swim bumps or music that they will play sometimes during the transition between cartoons. So if you're interested in Adult Swim music that they play, once again, I do have a playlist called Adult Swim, and it's some of their music from the past, like the early 2000s, from my time when I was really watching Cartoon Network. So if you're interested in listening to that music that they provide, it is a playlist readily available on there. Hey, what's going on? It's going pretty darn great over here. I'm very thankful for my growth. It's slow and steady wins the race, but I'd rather have a slow growth than no growth at all. You know, reaching towards my goal of the 4,000 watch hours so I can start living the high life in YouTube. Almost there. As of now, my cool peeps, I want to thank you all that I've been on almost a couple hours. I've been on an hour and 38 minutes, and as of now, I've collected, because of all of you, of 4 hours of watch time. So I really want to thank you for contributing to the cause with your watching and commenting and thumbs upping. So far I've gained 4 hours from this video. So once again, for me over here, slow and steady wins the race, and I have to tell myself because I forget. Slow growth is better than no growth at all. Can Well, slowly counting down from 10. That's what Hercules the Shark do. Are you familiar with Hercules the Shark? He comes on my channel every Friday for Fish Fry Fridays. He's an actual living, breathing shark. And Hercules the Shark takes therapy. He has therapy. And so his therapist told him, you know, he has to count backwards because it's therapeutic. When he sees himself getting ready to get angry, or if he doesn't want to take his high blood pressure pills, he counts numbers. So maybe that's it. It could be another trend that's going around, but I'm not really keeping up with the trends. I'm kind of slow on the draw, so I don't keep up with the trends by default, even if I wanted to. I'm not that fast, so I don't keep up. Thank you so much for your gold coins. Thank you so much for the jewels. It definitely will be going to a good cause, going back into the platform here on YouTube. I'm so happy about that. Thank you, guys. So what I finished reading, my cool peeps, is the deep dive overview. You know what? I don't see that on there anymore. I'm so used to seeing the deep dive overview. But today, June 9th, 2026, you know, I don't see that option anymore. it's been a habit of me just doing the deep dive. After I read the brief summary or synopsis of something, it will ask, do you want the deep dive of this? And I will say yes. But I just realized I don't see that option anymore. I'm getting ready to explore a little bit and see if maybe it's somewhere else. Because this morning I was telling, it's still morning. So earlier in the show, my cool peeps, I was fussing over the computer because it seemed like AI was trying to help me, but it was being overly assertive in its assistance, where it was automatically pulling up way too many tabs, and I couldn't see what I was doing because there was too many tabs popping up. So that was the situation I was having at the beginning of this show. So I'm looking for what, I'm just gonna type it. Side note, what happened to the AI overview deep dive tab? Oh, so here's the answer. I asked, what happened to the AI overview deep dive tab? According to AI, the dive deeper button and the conversational follow-up bar did not disappear permanently. Instead, Google upgraded this feature into a fully dedicated AI mode tab. Rather than just being an extension of your standard AI overview, this experience is now in independent mode. I'm not getting ready to get into the technological aspects of that because we are here to talk about cartoons on Cartoon Tuesday. No, I'm going to look it up though. It seems like the only time I could recall hearing that is when I'm watching football. So whoever is doing the commentating on ESPN, or not even just ESPN in general, when football comes back on in rotation, sometimes it seems like I would hear that name in NFL commentary. So whoever's doing the commentary at that time may be familiar with the cartoon Slowpoke called Slowpoke Rodriguez. So now I'm gonna look it up to see, is the Cartoon Network cartoon, or is it something like from is it something from MTV like Daria? I'm getting ready to look. Oh, that's his name. I've seen him. So maybe now, so maybe when I'm listening to football, there obviously has to be someone on the NFL, National Football League, where the guy last name is Rodriguez, because I would hear a commentator say Slowpoke Rodriguez. So, of course, they had to be referencing this cartoon character, and perhaps they were being funny. Oh my gosh, here he is. He's got a red knapsack tied to a stick. He's cool looking. There he is. Slowpoke Rodriguez is a character from the Looney Tunes series. He is the slowest mouse in all Mexico. Oh no. He is also the cousin of Speedy Gonzales. Yay! One of my favorite cartoons is Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's one of many. How can you just have one? Just like the Lay's potato chips, I bet you just can't eat one. No, give me the whole bag, or at least half bag at minimum. Slowpoke Rodriguez is Speedy Gonzales' cousin. He is the slowest mouse there is in the land of cartoon history. Wow, cool. Thank you for that. High five. Bam. Even when I did watch cartoons from that time, during my time, I was half in and half out when I watched Looney Tunes. they were there and that was all we had. So, so it was like, you know, slow. Put my light up here. Are you serious? That's what's in his bag then? A pow pow? OMG, Cartoon Network promoting violence. I'm getting ready to look it up. So I'm getting ready to see the Slowpoke Rodriguez carry a pow in his knapsack. Are you serious? Now this is gossip. If we were at work, now this is how I don't even want to call it gossip, but for lack of a better phrase, if I was at work gathering around the water cooler, now this is the type of talk I want to talk about. I'm like, girl, I was on live this morning before work. One of my cool peeps said that Speedy Gonzalez' cousin Slowpoke Rodriguez be carrying a pow in his knapsack. Girl, for real? Yeah. I'll get ready to look it up. Oh, man. Rodriguez carry a in his knapsack. Yes, y'all. Slowpoke Rodriguez carries a pow. However, it is kept in his general possessions rather than specifically in his knapsack. Boom. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. In the classic Looney Tunes shorts, he is famously known as the slowest mouse in all Mexico. To compensate for his slow speed, he is armed with a revolver. He memorably reveals this to his cousin, Speedy Gonzalez, with the iconic line, "Something I forgot to tell you. Slowpoke Rodriguez. He pack a pow. Oh, ah. I was like, girl, it's true. I cannot. Cartoon Network. Ah. I thought Batman was the first. No, not Batman, no. Batman the animated series, when this started coming on, I think Cartoon Network, but Batman the animated series in general, they were banging on that cartoon like pow. But before Batman the animated series, we had Slowpoke Rodriguez, Yosemite Sam, and he's Elmer Fudd. But when Elmer Fudd had a pow, it wasn't like he was using it to protect himself. Elmer Fudd was simply using it because it was hunting season and he was going to hunt for a rabbit. So I didn't see it in that way. I cannot believe it about Slowpoke. That's crazy. I'll have to show you from another device. Just one moment, okay? Did you know that Courage the Cowardly Dog? Oh my gosh, I wouldn't be surprised because some of those episodes are very haunting. Very haunting. Haunting like you don't want to fall asleep with certain episodes are on because the music is just like. So I'm going to show you Slowpoke Rodriguez. I'm looking him up right now. Just for a moment, please, and I'll provide that. Oh, here he is. All right. Let me find a bigger picture. I'm going to see if I can make it bigger. Hopefully you'll be able to see him. This green screen, you know, I gotta figure out a way how I can show you it without the green screen interrupting. Not him. That's a human. Oh, come on. Computer. Or... It's bad, but I might have to remove the green screen. Can you guys see him? The Slowpoke Rodriguez. All this stuff is popping up on my phone. There he is. I'm glad you're able to see him. He didn't get much TV time. Maybe they should bring her back, because that's funny. He'll definitely be more relatable in this day and age. It's crazy out here. You might need a little something extra in your knapsack. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you for asking. That's a good idea to show him. Show us your fangs. Yeah, right. Mona the Vampire. Mona the Vampire is also a good show. I think Mona the Vampire is a Disney cartoon, but I like that show too. There's Mona the Vampire, and there's Vampirina. Speaking of Vampirina, I know Vampirina is a Disney show, but what I think is cool is Vampirina has her own human show now, where she is like in high school. Is she in high school or middle school? She's in school and everything. Y'all, Mona the Vampire and Vampirina. They're cool. All right. So yes, we just read about Slowpoke Rodriguez. That was fun. Thank you for that information, and I'm glad you got to see him. And unfortunately, not unfortunately that some of you left, but unfortunately, my cool piece for some who did leave, I did touch on a portion in the Cartoon Network news. For my curiosity, I asked, is the Cartoon Network studios in Georgia open for the public? I finally got around to facing the music, and the music is sad and it's grim. No Cartoon Network facilities in Georgia are now open to the public. The main production unit, Cartoon Network Studios, was historically based in Burbank, California, rather than Georgia, and that physical building closed in year 2023. While Cartoon Network's corporate headquarters and its adult-oriented sibling animation studios, William Street Productions, creators of Adult Swim, are located on the corporate campus in Midtown Atlanta, Georgia, these facilities operate strictly as a private corporate offices. They do not offer public tours, exhibits, or general admission. That made my heart sad, you know. And reading it again, it's just setting it into stone some more, you know. The Atlanta offices are private. Both are heavily secure spaces requiring employee badges for entry. The Techwood and William Street campuses are on heavy lockdown. Yeah, I've been trying to get around to it, but I will forget to look it up. You know, so many things going on in the world. There's sometimes I just don't catch everything. But since I do have a segment on Cartoon Network or Cartoon Tuesdays, I finally remembered to ask. And unfortunately, it's a resounding no that it's not open. That's too bad. I don't like that. It's right up there with the malls closing, you know? I feel a little powerless. But it's nothing too challenging for us creative humans to put our minds together to figure out how we can turn the car around. Here's some more information, my cool piece, for if you were wanting to know and to come here to look. Former public attractions now closed. This is an additional closure. CNN Center Tour. Many fans remember taking the CNN studio tour in downtown Atlanta, which featured a large Cartoon Network retail store and window displays. The Discover Atlanta CNN Center Tour permanently closed after CNN relocated its main operations to the Techwood campus. The Cartoon Network store. The physical retail store downtown has also closed. Just keep getting me, man. Virtual alternatives. Digital stairwell tour. While you cannot visit a physical studio, you can explore a piece of Network's history online. Cartoon Network digitally preserved the famous sketch-filled artist stairwell from its former Burbank studio, allowing fans to take an interactive 3D virtual tour from their phone or computer. It's not the same. It's not the same. It reminds me of like, this is on the smaller scale, but so I can relate to everyone. It's like when you go to Dollar Tree now and you want to go shopping in the cosmetics department. It's hard to just easily shop anymore because it's a barricade of plastic everywhere. And it makes these weird, obnoxious, loud noises every time you open the door or slide the lid back. It messes up the experience. But this is gone all the way, so it's just like saying your favorite mall is closed. Go for it. A lot of people redraw on that, and it's really cool. They put it on their clothes and everything. You know, so Cartoon Network still lives on, of course. But we don't have access here to physical contact with the building. There's no more tours and stuff. As the world turns and as the world change. I don't like it, but it is what it is. So yeah, drawing cool manga stuff of Cartoon Network will be fantastic. It's a wonderful hobby. It's a great pastime. It's something cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. I like to draw. I'm not that good at drawing. You know, I can be better, but I think it's just a matter of me taking some time to just strengthen my abilities. I do have a few drawing books, you know, tutorials. They're packed away somewhere. So I will have to go into storage and find them. So it's things of that nature. Yes, I can easily look online and draw how to sketch things, but hey, I like a book. I like having the book. I like turning the pages and all that. So that's the information some of my cool peeps may have missed while you're on break or just going around listening to other things going on. That's some of the important information right there. So if you were wondering, that is unfortunately shut down. Now, what I didn't do is a research to see if the one in California is available. Available for public access. I'm going to see. I honestly don't want to go to California, but I'm going to see if the Cartoon Network one is available in California. No, the Cartoon Network Studios building in California is not available for public access. Are you serious? The physical studio, my cool peeps, building located in downtown Burbank officially closed its doors. The property was completely vacated when the network's production teams were consolidated and moved. Even when the studio was fully operational, it was a private workspace and was never open to the general public for walk-in tours or visits. Are you serious? Fun fact, the Land of Oz theme park in Asheville, North Carolina is abandoned. Really? Wow. So that place is abandoned? I don't like that we have abandoned theme parks. How can a theme park be abandoned? What's going on? High five. Bam. Welcome into Cartoon Tuesdays. We're gathered around talking about Cartoon Network and cartoons in general. We're just finding out right now that the Cartoon Network Studios of California is not available to the public. This is ridiculous. Current status of Cartoon Network California, my cool peeps. The original building is gone. The iconic plain white building at 300 North 3rd Street in Burbank no longer houses the network. The new location is private. The actual production and development teams have moved to the Warner Brothers Second Century Buildings, a private corporate facility near the main Warner Brothers lot. Is strictly closed to the public. Wow. It's abandoned no more. So, what do you mean? That means that they reopened? If they did, is it a new place now? So, what do we have here? We have North Carolina Land of Oz. The North Carolina Land of Oz is no longer abandoned. I'm looking it up now, my cool peeps. It's loading. No, the Land of Oz in North Carolina is not abandoned. It has reopened for the season, 2026 season, after temporary closure caused by the destruction of Hurricane Helen. Wow, once again, my cool peeps, know the Land of Oz in North Carolina is not abandoned. It has reopened for the 2026 season after a temporary closure caused by the destruction of Hurricane Helen. Thank you so much for that fun fact update. That's a lot of good news right there compared to what we were just reading about Cartoon Network being closed to the public. I roll. One of my favorite restaurants, Burger King. So, while it was completely abandoned for over a decade, following its closure in 1980, the park was rescued and restored in the 1990s. It is now actively maintained by the Liddy family and operates as a highly successful seasonal attraction. Thank you so much for that news. It's nice to see that the Oz Factory or Oz Amusement Park in North Carolina is back up and running. And once again, I'm doing great. My weekend was pretty darn cool, peaceful, a kind week. Doing good. Slow and steady wins the race. We're getting closer to our 4,000 watch hour goal as well. I was thanking my cool peeps a couple of times throughout this live stream as how appreciative I am of all of you for contributing to the cause, meaning watching, liking, commenting, popping in just to say hi. All of this is adding up to the big goal at the end. So I want to thank you all so much. We're doing great, and out of curiosity, if you're wondering, we have been on this particular live stream for 2 hours 7 minutes, and because of all of you collectively, this has given me 5.7 hours of watch time. So thank you so much for coming in and showing up, because those watch hours are adding up for my 4,000 watch hours. I'm very happy for that. So thank you guys so much. I want you to see that what you're doing is really helping over here. Thank you so much for watching the show, and to the replay squad as well. According to AI, in reference to seeing how to see Cartoon Network today, the official virtual tour once again. Before vacating the premises, the studio fully photographed and preserved its famous internal stairwell where the creators spent decades drawing beloved characters directly onto the walls. Anyone can take a free interactive 3D fly-through tour at the Cartoon Network Studios Artist Stairwell site. Warner Brothers Studio Tour Hollywood. While you cannot tour the active Warner Brothers Cartoon Network offices, you can book general tickets for the Warner Brothers Studio Tour Hollywood. This tour explores the history of the entire parent company and often includes animation displays, merchandise, and photo opportunities from various classic franchises. I tell you. If you want to plan an animated themed trip to the Los Angeles area, I can suggest alternative destinations. I'm meaning AI overview. No, I don't want to know about alternatives. I was here to specifically learn about the joys and the beauties of Cartoon Network in California and Georgia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's getting really late, guys. The time right now is 7:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here from Georgia. This is really cool, right? I'm quite sure the sun is rising, but I'm in my tiny little workspace area, and I have the door closed this time, so I don't see if the sun is shining. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. So I'm going to dip out, not leaving, but I want you to see the pictures in the background. Some of you didn't get the luxury to see the pictures in the display. Here it is. We've got Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. We have The Grim Adventures of Bill and Mandy, Batman, Ben 10, Dexter's Laboratory, and for some reason there was the Animaniacs at the bottom. Animaniacs didn't come to Cartoon Network, but I'll take it. You know, I wonder what that picture is. I downloaded these pictures into my phone, So of course I didn't scale it down so you can see all of the picture, but it sure as heck covers up. It sure as heck covers a lot of the shows, don't it? This background looks nice. Let's see here. I think we've covered everything for today. I want to make sure I have this saved so when I come back for Cartoon Network news again on Tuesday, we could talk about something else. I have a few more Cartoon Networks lined up. So if there's something specific that you want to hear regarding Cartoon Network on Tuesdays, you'll be able to already see what's scheduled on the roster for a couple of weeks out. Cool, huh? Ben 10 is coming up in one of the rosters. I don't remember which day it's scheduled, but he is coming up. You know? Do you like Ben 10? I've eaten enough cereal. No, 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 no. Chex Mix cereal is what I had today for my snack while I chatted with all of you. But I need to get out of here so I could go eat some real food. We have successfully hit the 6-hour mark. Thank you so much, my cool peeps. Once again, I can not say that enough. Thank you so much for contributing to the watch time hours. This is really cool. Monday through Fridays, I am here 5 a.m. ET time. Mondays is Morning Moon Monday Motivational Madness, helping move power through or power move your work week, or I dress up as a cow on Mondays. Tuesdays, which is Cartoon Network Tuesdays, they would talk about cartoons. Wednesdays is the intentionally very long live stream show with Baskethead, where we watch movies on Wednesdays in our spaceship, the mothership, and we chat and chill in the chat box. On Thursdays is Freestyle Thursdays, where there's really not a structure there. It's basically my casual Fridays. Thursdays are my Fridays, so it's Freestyle Thursdays. And I usually don't dress up as a character. I show up as completely as myself. And on Fridays, my cool peeps, back by popular demand, it's your boy Hercules the Shark. He comes on. You get to interact live and in color with the actual living, breathing shark. And you talk to him and he interacts with you and he tries to teach you the ways of the shark. Hercules the Shark will be on this come Friday for Fish Fry Fridays. Now I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Thank you for all of my cool peeps who purchased memberships. Memberships are now available for the low price of 99 cents. The prices are so low because that's the lowest I could get them. That's my way of giving back and saying thank you for all of your support. Memberships are only 99 cents. So thank you so much for that. This was another good show, right? I had a great turnout for cartoons. So when you're ever feeling down and frumpy and tired of watching the news all the time, how about turning on some cartoons to have on in the background? Or have on one of my playlists in the background. If you want to get your mind out of negative thoughts, how about listening to one of the Cartoon Network Adult Swim playlists that I have available in Fusion Fridays? Or listen to one of my hashtag Meowcat videos. Hashtag Meowcat is awesome. He actually is a character, an original character of Elay TV, and he was here way before Hercules the Shark. But yeah, hashtag Meowcat is funny too. He'll definitely put you to sleep if you're trying to get to sleep. Until next time, my cool peeps, My name is LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Thank you so much for your support and helping me reach my goal of 4,000 watch hours. I'll see you guys next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.